Oh, you already know it's time, baby. You already know it's time. Ladies and gentlemen, let me put my mic on. We are going to have an awesome show for you today. We already got 70 of you waiting in here. Goodness gracious, great balls of fire. I think tonight is going to be the absolute best show we may have ever had. I'll let you be the judge of that. Ladies and gentlemen, we have so much to go over. What's going on, Dan? Bob Dan, the greatest moderator alive, has blessed us with his presence already, and sweet Jolene has made it. Now it's a party, baby. We have so much to go over. I have been prepping and stressing a little bit because I wanted to make sure we hit all the key points tonight. So if you guys stick with me, I promise you, you will get the best market update for 2025, baby. So we have interest rates that we're going to go over. We have the upcoming earnings. We're going to go over the whole month of January because this month of January is going to be an absolute doozy. I promise you, a doozy. Look it up. It's going to be a doozy. Then, of course, we have huge news. We have huge news about this YouTube channel. I know we have a ton of people out there that support this channel. First and foremost, thank you so much. I have awesome news, and I cannot wait to share that with you. And then, of course, we have the market outlook, our watch list, and then if we have any questions, whether it's penny stocks or swing trading or long-term investing or how to even save money with a tight budget so you can have an accumulative account so you can have bigger and better returns. We have all that coming up very, very soon. Hit that intro, Dave. What is going on, baby? We already got Jolene Yosef. What's going on? Nathan says, Noah Sosa sent me. Well, what's going on, brother? It's good to see you. I'm glad you are here, and I hope as you stick around, we give you a ton of useful information to help get you prepared for the week ahead. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think I've said ladies and gentlemen about 1,000 times already, so we're going to go ahead and mums the word. All right? Target rate probability. This is what the world is looking at right now. What is this? This is your interest rates. The overall Fed interest rates right here, the target probability for January 29th is a stay. If you guys remember months and months and months ago, we kept updating you and we kept saying that it is going to be months before we get a rate cut. And we have gotten those rate cuts. We are down to a target rate of 4.25. Now, the issue though is we are at another rate stay, meaning we do not plan on cutting rates until, I would say the probability would be somewhere around May. May is when we start getting a chance to cut. And even still in May, we have a higher probability of staying at 4.25. And you might ask yourself, well, what does interest rates have to do with the speculation of swing trading or the overall longevity of my account? Well, I'll tell you this. If it is cheaper to borrow money and those interest rates come down, it's cheaper to borrow money, then you're going to see the larger corporations buying more, spending more, borrowing money to help build bigger infrastructures, to hire more teams for management, for everything, people. So interest rates are a huge deal, and it has shown time and time again in the past when they cut interest rates, the market continues to go higher. We have been cutting interest rates. The market has been going higher, but now there's a little uncertainty. There's uncertainty with a lot of things. A lot of macroeconomics are holding the market at bay, but of course, we have a lot of positive news ahead of us, so stick around. May 25th, we have the most likelihood of another stay, but in June is when we can honestly say our next rate cut will probably be, okay? Now, these things will fluctuate as more data comes in, when we get the CPI and the unemployment rate data. When all these different datas come in, we're going to continue to keep an eye on this to let you know when the interest rates are going to start coming down more and more. And that is a beautiful thing. We want to see interest rates coming down. We continually would like to see those come down, but we don't want to bring them down too fast because then inflation, that sticky inflation, can get rampant and start ramping right back up. So we have to take our time with this. He's cut quite a bit, and he's trying to fight in unemployment ramping up and we can see a little bit of that happening, but with the interest rates at a stay, we're going to keep a close eye on them to see what comes up. Now, the next big thing is earnings. And of course, we're going to get to the watch list. I know everybody's dying for that watch list. And actually, we do have a poll today. The question is, and we already have 18 votes, what are you more interested in? The stock watch list, the upcoming earnings, the market update, or all of the above? 50% of you say all of the above. That's what I like to hear, because if you just bring it all together, come together, you're going to figure out the overall market conditions. And then when you're looking at one specific trade, you can add all of these up. You can tally all of these up, and it'll help with your conviction, right? It will help with your conviction. And this is a huge, huge piece of huge deal, right? Now, if we look at this in front of us, this is Earnings Whisper. You can find it on Twitter. That's where I find this information. And of course, Bob Dan, the greatest moderator alive, posts this in our Discord. He posts it in the Swing Trader Strategies Facebook group. He posts it everywhere where you need to be so you can find it. And sure enough, we're posting it right here in front of you today. Now, I have a very important day. And if you guys look at this, if you look at this, it's right in front of you. If you look at this, just take a look at it, you're going to find out one of these days, you tell me which day you think it is probably the most important day for the market, maybe of the year, okay? But when we go through this, you can see we have Comtech on Monday, we have Citibank, we have a lot of banks on Wednesday coming out, Wells Fargo, Citi, BlackRock's a big one. Thursday is going to be PNC. We have Taiwan Semiconductor also on Thursday. Morgan Stanley, Bank Corp also on Thursday. Quite a few banks. JB Hunt as well. It's the old Nifty 50 coming on through. Endless, what's going on, Endless? Good to see you. Erica, what's going on, Erica? It's good to see you. Noah Sosa's in the building. What's up, brother? It's good to see you, man. Let's see, well, who else we got in here? Yosef, yeah. D-Rock, what's up, man? You made it. I'm glad you made it, man. We got to put them kids at bay. Go to sleep. Go to sleep, kiddos. We got some things that we have to study. On the 17th, we have Fastenal, we have Regis, we have Citizens Bank. Let's see, the 20th, we have another financial, is that BOK Financial? Of course, the 21st is an important one. We have Netflix. You guys know I've been talking about Netflix as a leader. It's pulled back quite a bit recently, but Netflix as the leader, as it was, it's going to be very important to see if the earnings come in as they should, and we'll see if we continue to have a pullback or if we're going to see a nice trend, because it's starting to trend down. If it can break out of that trend, that might be a nice trade, but we'll see. And we have quite a few here, guys. Verizon, ones that stand out. GE Aerospace. I know B. Stewie has been keeping a close eye on GE. That's going to be an important one. We have Texas Instrument. I'm surprised they're still actually around. Let's see. We have SoFi on the 27th. AT&T on the 27th. Berkeley, Home and Bank. The 28th is Boeing. That's a big one. Royal Caribbean, another big one that a lot of people. GM is another big one. Now, this is what I'm talking about. The 29th and the 30th is going to be the absolute doozy in the market, folks. Absolute doozy. Why do I say that? We have Tesla, Meta, Microsoft, IBM, and then, of course, Apple on the 30th, UPS, Intel. The 29th and the 30th is going to be an absolute busy week for a lot of investors, even your institutional ownerships. All eyes are going to be on the market on the 29th and the 30th. So as we lead up to that, we're going to see a lot of volatility in the market, probably a lot of whipsaw action. And of course, we're going to go over the overall market. We're going to go over the overall market so you can understand the technical analysis. But I do need you to understand that the whole reason why we're looking at these earnings is to understand last week, the week before that, there wasn't much on our plates. There wasn't a lot going on, but there was still a ton of speculation. If you haven't already watched the video where it says quantum fail, that quantum fail, we went a deep dive into, there was so much volatility. There was so much retail trader and traders actually trading and speculating. And you could see institutional ownership sold off into that, and they sold off into it hard. So we need to be very, very careful with that. So with that being said, the 29th and the 30th. It's all going to lead up to the 29th and 30th, and then we're going to continue with all of these earnings. Ford, ARM, Qualcomm, Align, Snap, PayPal, Chipotle, Spotify, Pfizer. I mean, you name it, you've either played it or you know about it. Roblox, Hershey's, just tons the next month. Hertz, John Deere, JFrog, PBF. B. Stewie's listening. I know he's keeping an eye on PBF. But we have a ton. We have a ton of earnings going on. Of course, we're going to figure out a select few, and we're going to share those earnings. We're going to keep an eye on those earnings. We'll listen to the earnings call as they come up as well. Okay. Does anybody have any questions about earnings or the interest rates? Any questions at all? Maybe I can be able to fix those. David, your stash is brown, chicken brown corn, baby. Yeah, you know, my wife made fun of me. She says, why do you have a mustache? You know, I said, because I look cool. That's why, of course. I look good with a mustache, damn it. But anyway, while you guys are here, before we carry on, before we go into the big news, do me a huge favor. Take a look at my screen really quick. This is another me. Absolutely beautiful. Hit that like button. I'm going to refresh this. Let's see how many likes. We got 27 of you watching, and we have 12 likes. Let's get these numbers up. We even have 23 votes. If you're going to vote, do me a favor. Hit that like, hit that subscribe button for me. We want to get these numbers up. We want this to be the best show that we have ever had today. Global Defense is in the building. He says, how can we add those to a calendar or a good way to track them? Well, there's a few ways. You can do it on your trading view. You can go to Earnings Whisper right here. You can be a part of our Discord. Our Discord's absolutely free. And you can click on the section where it says resources. I'm sorry, no, we actually have a section for the earnings report. But if you go right here, actually, I'll just copy and paste this right in the chat for you. There you go. And now you can go right here and you have that calendar. Okay, you have that calendar. Zamora's in the building. What's up? And Noah Sosa says, hit that like button. Thank you very, very much. We got some OGs in the building, and we got some new people. I hope the new people turn into OGs in a few months. I mean, I tell you what, guys, we have an amazing community. I absolutely love talking to everybody on the side. I have a lot of side chats going on. We have a lot of chats in our general chat going on, and I absolutely love it. I love the fact that we created something from nothing, and everybody is just such a huge part of this. So keep in mind, Earnings Whisperer, we got the calendar in there for you. We got you. Everything's going good. So let's carry on. So I have some amazing news. I've been reaching out to a lot of YouTubers, a lot of people on Twitter, a lot of people that were actually already interviewed by Richard Moglen. Because I like to do interviews. And as you guys know, we interviewed Adrian. You can go back, you can watch that. It was a great show. Adrian did it. He was easy on the camera, easy to talk to. I've been reaching out to some other traders, some millionaire traders, some seven-figure traders, some big guys out there, and very good at what they do on YouTube. And so we reached out to a few of them. I got denied on a few. We had some good responses on some other ones. But I tell you what, we had this one guy. I'm trying to get signed in here really quick. Sorry guys, stuttering here. I chatted with him. I've learned a lot from him, and I tell you what, this guy right here, I promise you, is going to be an absolute amazing show. This gentleman right here, chart guys, Dan the Man. I have learned so much from Dan the Man. This is where I learned my new lower highs, my new higher lows. I reached out to him and he did not hesitate. I emailed out to him. He said, let's figure out a time where we can do an interview or a show, do something, anything. He said, absolutely. You are trying to help other people. You're creating a community and you're trying to help other people. I would love to give you the time. And so next Saturday, I'm going to do a nice sit-down chat with Dan himself, this gentleman right here. He has just an awesome amount of material. It's where I learned my new higher lows, my new lower highs. I'm sure he didn't coin the phrase because it's been around for quite some time. I am going to ask him that question. But of course, if you guys have any questions for Dan, for me, let me know in the Discord, because I have a note sheet up. I'm going to send it to him just so I don't take him by surprise. But if you guys have any questions for him, let me know, because this guy is absolutely awesome. He has awesome analysis, and make sure you hit that like on his YouTube channel as well, because I want you to support him. He's already supported me, and we haven't even had a show yet, because I've learned a ton from him. You'll see that a lot of my analysis is a lot like his. So that's my huge news for you guys. And, I'm really pumped. I'm really excited. It's going to be great for the YouTube. It's going to be great for everybody out there to hear from a 7-figure trader, not somebody who is just trying to make it to those 7 figures, but an actual trader who has done this for almost 15 years. I think he's done this. And he's got over 190,000 subscribers, and he has 10,000 videos. That's what I thought was more impressive. Of course, 190,000 subscribers is awesome, but the 10,000 videos, this man has been putting in the work. So make sure you go give him a like and a subscribe over there too. And we will have that interview out in probably 2 weeks. I need some time to edit and do the questionnaire and all that good stuff. But that is the awesome news, and I am pumped. I am absolutely pumped. Let's catch up on the chat here. Nathan Sheffield says 3 questions on stock: GRCE, ALLT, and PLX. We will definitely be going over those. We have quite a bit to go over, and then we're going to go back through, and I'm going to make sure I take care of everybody's stock questions. So if you stick around to the end, I promise you I will get to it. I do not and try not missing anybody's. If I do, I feel absolutely horrible, and then I try to reach out to you in Discord so that way I can take care of it. So no worries, no frets, no sweats, okay? No sweaties. We're going to get to your stocks. So go ahead and throw them up in the chat in just a few minutes. All right. That is the huge news. Now we can go over the market outlook. And I think this is probably the most important situation, because before I decide to take a trade, before I decide to do anything, the first thing I do is I look over the market. I usually use the S&P 500, but today we're going to run through all of them because we haven't done it in a while. So with that being said, without further ado, let's first take a look at what stocks, what percentage of stocks are above the 50-day moving average. And you can see here, if we zoom out, this is a daily time frame. This is a daily time frame. You can see that the majority of stocks, more than 50%, are below their 50-day moving average. All right? That's not a good sign, guys. That is a horrible sign. You do not want to see this. But what I do like to see is anytime we get this low, we get this big of a pullback. Let me mute my sound here, guys. I'm sorry. Anytime we get that big of a pullback, that kind of drastic pullback, you can see every time we bounce back up. Okay, so I do like seeing this, the fact that we were risk off and we are risk off, but very, very soon I can already see if we start to get this bounce, we will be risk back on very soon. But let's go over the overall market to see. This is the VIX Volatility Index. If you don't know what that is, this is gauging how many shares are traded in any given day. And why this is important is because when things get very volatile, you'll see the overall market coincides on an inverse correlation, meaning when the VIX goes up, the stock market goes down. This right here was the Japanese carry trade. If we zoom all the way out, this right here was COVID, okay? And we could probably zoom out a little bit further. Maybe I could put this on the weekly. Right here is the 2008 financial crisis. So when you see these huge spikes in the VIX Volatility Index, that right there is people just being absolutely terrified, and they usually just sell, okay? There's some buyers, obviously. But I have traders that I know, some old timers, and they wait until the VIX is above 50 to start buying, okay? So I'm not telling you that's what you should do. I definitely don't do that. But there was quite a few times where he called me on these days and he said, Dave, you need to start buying. You need to start buying. Buy those leaders that you talk about. And I said, well, I'm not seeing my setup. I'm not seeing my base or trend breakout. But what I have been doing as we get these volume blurps is I buy into the S&P 500 using VOO. And I post every time that I do, and I think it's really, really important to have a long-term account. Now, The last time that we had a euphoric push, I sold all of my shares. And as we started pulling back, every euphoric big drawdown, a big pullback, I end up adding into VOO. And we can go over that very, very soon. But what I'm trying to get at here is we talked about how this had this discerning trend line and it broke up higher. I'm not saying I called this, but we did talk about this right here. We pointed this out and I said, you know, if the volatility works the same as the overall technical patterns, this looks like it could set up for a breakout. And sure enough, we had a huge bout of volatility. Of course, who would have seen the Japanese carry trade coming? I wouldn't have been able to tell you that it was the Japanese carry trade, but I could have told you on a technical standpoint, this is not looking good. This is concerning, right? So the VIX volatility index really got rampant here and it went higher. What's up, B Stewie? B Stewie's in the building. Man, I've probably called your name out twice. What up, Carl Burr? What's going on, brother? It's good to see you back, man. I love seeing people swing on back. It's good to see you. So this is the S&P 500. Now, what is this purple line? This is the Prezi gap up. After we found out that the old Donald Trump was going to be our president, our next president in line, we get a huge gap up here. So I call this the Prezi gap up, and we have now pushed up much higher, very euphoric, very exciting. Everybody was very happy. When we broke the 21-day moving average, it was a major pullback, and then of course we bounced back up, creating a new lower high, meaning we have the all-time high at 609.07. We broke down and we popped back up. The issue with this pop-up is that it created a new lower high. That is starting to form a trend showing bears that they are in control, right? And you'll hear Dan the Man say that all the time, but the bears are in control here, right? And then it held a double bottom and it popped back up, and we were hoping to see a new high form. Instead of creating a new lower high, we wanted to see this form a new high above the previous low. It did not. It created another new low. So 3 new lower highs. That's not a very good sign because it's forming a downtrend, and it created this new lower low, which is a very concerning factor. I've told you guys multiple times, if we break this 580 area, I am just very nervous, okay? And what I mean by nervous is I'm always rooting for the S&P 500 to continue higher. If you have a 401k or a Roth IRA or any type of investing portfolio, you want to root for the market to go higher, right? You never want to see it go straight up, because if it goes straight up, it's going to come straight back down, but you also don't want to see this thing come straight back down. You want to see things gradual. And right now, this has been the choppiest area that I have seen in many, many moons, okay? I can say many moons. I'm part Indian, I think. I got high cheekbones. But no, in many, many moons, we have not seen this kind of chop. This is bad, guys. This is very, very bad. I do not like to see this. Of course, these euphoric pullbacks, the Japanese carry trade, these euphoric pullbacks usually get bought back up. There's a big stopping point, and then it created a new higher lows. So it was great to see, but this Prezi gap up comes back down and it's retesting this area. I would love to see it hold this area, but because it broke that 580 area, that strong area of support, I'm expecting for us to get a little pop and another drop. And I think we're gonna overshoot this Prezi gap before we start to head higher. Now, these are all guesses. It's all speculation. Nobody really knows what's gonna go in the market. But what I do know is that we are below the 50-day moving average. We're below a 21-day moving average. So short term, the bears are in control. Short term, this is a nervous area to be in. And we just got a subscriber. Thank you so much for subscribing. I missed the name. That popped in here and subscribed, but thank you so much for subscribing. We appreciate your support. So anyway, when we have this breakdown, I am hands off. I don't need to be nervous. I'm nervous for the overall investment portfolios. I'm nervous for the old folks that are depending on that money so they can gradually support their retirement, right? What I'm happy about is we are risk off. I called the financial advisor. I got all my money out of the market. I don't have to worry about anything, okay? What I'm waiting for is for this to create new higher lows, for this to show support and proof of concept, so that way we can find the leaders, which we are going to go over very soon. Find those leaders and then start buying those leaders up when the market starts to turn around. Because if the leaders lead and the market's pulling back, but the leaders don't pull back, those are the strong stocks. You don't want to be in these shit stocks that just keep going down. And even when the market's going up, those are going down. We don't want to be in those. We want to be in strong stocks. Okay? It's a phenomenon. Most stocks that go low head lower. Most stocks that continue higher head higher. By William O'Neill. That's one of his teachings right there. And if you guys haven't read this book, I highly, highly recommend you read this book. It is my Bible for the overall stock market, How to Make Money in Stocks by William O'Neill, and it has over 100 pages of technical analysis on a weekly time frame. You need to take a peeky gander. Nathan, this is the guy I told you about, Noah Sosa. I tell you what, dude, you are a huge support, Noah, and I really, really appreciate you joining. You are awesome. So huge shout out for you. I appreciate you bringing in everybody. I appreciate you speaking of the legitimacy. Thank you. Next up, we're going to look at the NASDAQ. So this, keep in mind, the S&P 500 has 500 of the best U.S. stocks in it. The NASDAQ's holding the best 100 stocks in it, okay? This has finally broke that 50-day moving average. This held up the best. This was the leader in the ETFs. Of course, we see a short-term downtrend here. You can see that drawn out for you. We want to see this hold. Where is it going to hold? I have no freaking clue. I have no clue. But I am hands off until we start to see it hold and form new higher lows. What would I like to see? The best case scenario would be something like this. We get a nice pop. We come back down. We get real tight here. And then we take off. Okay? That, to me, would be the ideal situation, right? We linger around like some bad breath around the 50-day moving average, and then we rip tater chip, just like this. We rip tater chip right up to the north side, and then you're going to see all of the tech giants following with it, okay? Now, will that happen? I have no idea, but that would be best case scenario for me. But for right now, I am risk off because we're creating new lower lows. Okay, so keep that in mind. Keep that in the back of your head, okay? JP says, my next read. Hell yeah, brother. I really highly recommend How to Make Money in Stocks. All the greatest investors, all the seven-figure traders that I have studied talk about how to make money in stocks, okay? William O'Neill is an absolute beast, and I follow IBD because they just align with the swing trading strategies that I love. It might not be right for you, but you'll never know until you read the book and you try to invest in that way. If you like to speculate, definitely read that book. So JP, I'm glad. Yeah, Dan Bob agrees. I think we all can agree. Absolutely love it. Jolene, I see you calling out Hood. We'll definitely take a look at Hood. And now that we're going to talk about Hood in the near future, let's take a look at Bitcoin right here, folks. Because Bitcoin, ever since we hit that $100,000 area, right mirror, you guys can see we have pulled back quite a bit, okay? That pullback here is creating new lower lows. What does this look like? It looks like our ETFs that we've went over. It looks like the SPY. It looks like the NASDAQ. Why does it look like that? Well, now that we have the Fed saying, hey, you're allowed to have institutional ownership buying Bitcoin, okay? Now that we have that, we're going to see a lot of more volatility in this. We're going to see a lot of the ETFs lining up with Bitcoin because they're going hand in hand now. So until this breaks away, until this does its own thing again, I'm seeing it in line with the NASDAQ. Okay, so it's creating new lower lows. I don't like that. I could definitely see this thing starting to continue its pullback. But until we see support, I'm going to be hands off Bitcoin. I'm not going to be trading MSTR or IBIT or any shit coins for that same matter, okay? Because remember, guys, you can look at Solana, you can look at Fartcoin or Huck to a coin. You can look at whatever the hell you want, and you can call it out. I'll look at it too, but always remember, it's going to follow Bitcoin. Sure, they might move 100,000%, but they aren't going to go up if Bitcoin's going down. I've not seen it, okay? And if it does, it's short-lived. So you need to be very, very careful. And of course, I haven't said it yet, but risk management. You need to keep an eye on what you're trading, how you're trading it. If you're going to get in a trade, know where your exit is. You need to have an exit strategy. A lot of people come into the market and they say, I want to buy, I want to make money. Well, the first thing you need to learn to do is lose. You need to learn how to be a good loser, or you're never going to be a winner in this market. And I always say you are a loser unless you're learning. So make sure that you're learning something, if not from me, from your own damn mistakes, okay? Next up is the QQQ. This is the tech-heavy ETF. The tech-heavy ETF. Rogue Warrior, no associates, the man. I'm D-Rock. This is my other account. What's up, D-Rock? It's good to see you, brother. I'm glad that you could make it today. Bob Dan says, I fully agree with you, Global. What did Global say? If SPY breaks below 580 support, it could lead to further downside. Absolutely. I've said that in a YouTube short, and I've said it in our last show. I even made it a YouTube short that we broke that 580, and so I'm very, very nervous. So yes, I agree. We're lingering around 580 like some bad breath. We broke it once, making a new lower low. I think that we are going to have some more volatility to the downside, but we'll keep an eye on it. Watching on my phone wasn't good enough. Flat out, need a bigger screen. Yeah, baby. Get me on the big screen. Put this big jaw on the big screen, baby. I'm a jaw jockey, and that's what I do. QQQ is looking quite similar to the NASDAQ and the S&P 500, creating those new lower lows, so be careful. Now, the Dow Jones Industrial, this looks a little bit different. Let's take a little peeky gander at the Dow Jones. You guys can see the Dow Jones was leading for quite some time. It was looking really, really good. I really liked how the Dow Jones was looking, but it got so much euphoric push to the north side, it needed a pullback, and it's doing the same thing, only this looks a little bit stronger than most. I have not seen, since I've started, this kind of push in the Dow Jones Industrial. We had a huge push here. I usually see, a lot of chop, a nice push, some more chop, a nice push, some more chop, but this thing just continued higher, very, very gradual incline, and now we're finally getting a pullback. I don't think this is too concerning, to be honest, with the overall market. But we still need more time. We need to see. The IWM, though, this lagging piece of crap, you can see we're right at an area of support. But the IWM, every single time, I think, oh man, we're breaking above, we're getting above the all-time highs from years and years ago. No, we pull back again. This is a major cup here. We're not going to call this a William O'Neill's cup and handle because it is not. It needs to be within that 6-month range, I do believe, or 6-week. I need to look that back up again. But right here, we have this base. I would love to see the IWM, the Russell 2000, the small cap ETF, hold this area. If it can hold this area, I think that's a really good sign. If it breaks below this area, we're going to call this the 580 area on IWM, just like the S&P 500. If it breaks this 215, that's not a very good sign for the Russell 2000 or small caps, okay? So with that being said, I want to run through these sectors really, really quickly just to see what's really standing out in the overall market. We have XLK, which is your technology fund. It's going to look like QQQs below a 50. XLY, your consumer discretionary, below a 50. We have Hack, which I like to keep an eye on. This is your cybersecurity. It's just barely above a 50-day moving average, but still looking like a lot of your other. Now, retail was doing very, very good. It's right back down here at its base support. Now, again, this is below its 50-day moving average, but one thing I do want to point out is this humongous area of support, okay? What do I mean by support? Well, if we look at it push up, it hit this $79, $80 area. We're going to call it $80 because that's a psychological number. It's an even number. It's 80. And it's hit this area 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You guys get what I'm saying, right? It could not break through this $80 area, and it finally broke through, and it did it on the Prezi gap up. That Prezi gap up took this thing, rip, tater chip to the north side, rip, tater chip to the north side, and then we pulled back. We're retesting this area. It wants to know, is retail still strong? Well, below a 50-day moving average, I don't like the looks of it, but if it can hold this area and start to create another high and bounce, then we should be looking at retail, okay? We should be looking at retail. If it bounces back up here and gets above these moving averages, we really need to be looking at retail. Now, We have been keeping a very close eye on communications, the communication stocks. This is getting a pretty big pullback. It was a leader for quite some time. I mean, since September, communication services has been leading the charge, and now it's pulling back and giving back some of its gains, but definitely not the majority of it. We still have a ways to go. This is the tech software. This is a major pullback. This is not something I even want to look at right now. Well below a 50-day moving average. Not going to give it much time. Now, consumer staples. This had a huge pullback and now is below a 200-day moving average. Usually in very volatile or very scary times, you'll see a lot of people flood into consumer staples and energy, okay? So I'm going to bring up energy in just a minute here. But we can see here, consumer staples is below a 200-day moving average and continually falling, okay? To me, that is a good sign for the overall market because that's not showing that people are afraid right now. People aren't going into consumer staples and just flooding and safeguarding their money into consumer staples. No, they're actually selling their consumer staples and they're going into cash because we're not seeing much rotation right now. Or treasuries, right? KRE, so this is the banking. You can see banking had a huge pullback, well below a 50-day moving average. We had some banks come out, some bad news come out. KRE is just looking at those banks. It's at an area of support, but with the biggest issue we're having with this support area is it's so far below a 50-day moving average, we need to hold this area. We also have the XLF. XLF is financials as well. It's going to look the exact same. Let's continue on. Biotech, well below a 200-day moving average. It looks like it's about to fall off the face of the earth. Why do I say that? If we line up this area of support here, if it does not bounce in this area, we are to head lower. So we don't want to see that. Let's go ahead and catch up on the chat before we continue. Global Defense says, at Jolene, this is a key support area where price consolidation is occurring between approximately 580 and 585. A bounce in this area would be a good sign. Absolutely, I agree with you 100%. I think we're all with you, Global Defense. Absolutely. Rogue Warrior, yes, I don't know. I don't know what that emoji means, so I don't know how to respond to it, but I love it. If we break below, next strong support is 564. Yeah, I believe I have that same number. Vinny says 2025 still bullish, but from 2026 will turn to multi-year bearish. Well, you're looking pretty far out there. We can speculate, we can guess, but who knows? Who really knows, right? But if that is your deciding factor, if that's what you're going to go off of, I hope you make a ton of money doing it, Vinny. So put that money where your mouth is, baby, and let's make some money together. Nathan Sheffield says, UEC, should I hold my shares? We'll be going over all of that. Hold your questions till the end, guys. We have a couple more things to go over, and we have we're gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna give you my watch list. It's pretty similar to the previous week's watch list, but I think everybody needs to keep an eye on it. Now we have XLE Spider Fund, XLRE, so it's real estate. Real estate's looking horrible. Below a 200-day moving average and continue to fall. This is probably the weakest ETF right now out of all of them, okay? So we're not going to give it too much time. This is the materials, well below a 200-day moving average, not going to give it much time. This is the healthcare. Now, I pointed out to you guys, if we zoomed out here, this purple area, I'll just bring it over more so we can see it a little better. But I pointed out this purple area is the area of support for healthcare and that we should get a bounce from this area. And sure enough, we are starting to get a bounce right here. How sustainable that's going to be, I don't know. But we are still below a 200-day moving average and a 50-day moving average. Not looking good for health right now. But I would love to see some rotation into health to see if we can head higher. So we'll see very, very soon. This is the S&P 500's equally weighted. This is not looking good. It shows that breadth in the market is not doing well. XLI is industrials, not doing well. XLE, now this is energy. I told you guys I would not be surprised if we started to see more energy-related stocks. Energy-related stocks heading higher. Why? Because if we are getting fear in the market, we will probably see more money going into energy and going into consumer staples. We're not seeing that in consumer staples and energy. We're getting a pop but we aren't seeing continuation just yet. We have a low, we have a new higher low. We'll see if we can get a new higher low and get above that 200-day moving average. That would be a good sign that XLE is going to head higher and the overall market is still looking shaky. XLU, this is utilities. Utilities, when we first started cutting rates, utilities really started to take off here and headed much, much higher. Now utilities is back down just above a 200-day moving average, but below a 50. So it's not looking pretty, okay? Now, one thing I wanted to point out, guys, because I have brought all this bad news. We're below the 50, we're below the 200, but we have some good news here. Gold. Gold is the only thing that really stands out to me, okay? Gold looks absolutely amazing here. And you don't hear me say that very often, okay? But we have on the gold spot to the US dollar, it looks like this thing is a beautiful trend breakout waiting to happen, okay? So we need to be very, very focused on gold. We need to bring all of our gold stocks out of the closet, dust them off, take a little peeky gander to see if we have any trend or base breakouts, okay? And we could do that. I could probably look it up right here for you right now to see. I know I got a gold. Here we go, gold and miners. Let's bring up some gold. Let's just look at some gold right now, guys, and then I'll give you my watch list, okay? So let's see how gold is doing, and we're gonna use this. We have NEM looking horrible. This is the gold futures right here. This is basically what we just looked at. We're gonna bring this up on the daily time frame. That's all we're gonna look at. You can see this huge trend that's forming. If we can get above this trend, now, of course, if we pulled back and we did something like this and created a new higher low, so we have a low, a new higher low, if we can create one more new higher low before we broke out, that would be a really, really good sign for gold futures, okay? So we can look at things like Nugget, below a 200-day moving average, not looking good. We have gold, GOLD, not looking good. FNV, so this is Franco NEV Corp, not a fast mover. Let's take a look at WP. See, it's now gold. When I'm looking at gold specifically, I'm not seeing a lot of, nothing too pretty, you know, nothing too crazy right now. We can find some smaller, some more faster stuff. FCX not looking good. KGC, now this looks good, KGC, but it only moves 3.2%. We have sand not looking too good. So, you know, we'll really have to dive a little deeper down into gold. But right now, gold looks like it's getting ready to break out, but none of the other stocks inside of gold really are. So we can also take a look at miners as well, but I know miners isn't looking the best as well. So IAG is probably the strongest out of all of these, IAG, but it still only moves 3.8%. So yeah, gold specifically is looking good, but overall, KGC is on your list. Good, because it's, you know, I would say out of all the gold stocks, KGC is looking the best, but it is a slow mover. It only moves 3.2%, so not too proud of that, okay? Now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you know what time it is. We have the watch list. The watch list is here. Goodness gracious, if you made it this far, congratulations. You are doing yourself a favor. I appreciate you being here, and now we have the watch list just for you. What is this watch list called? Leaders. We're going to run through all of these leaders, but we're going to start with the best ones, and we're going to work our way back so you don't have to wait any longer. But before we start, do me a huge, huge favor. Take a look at my screen, guys. We have 33 of you watching right now. 33 of you watching right now. I'm going to refresh this page. Let's see how many likes that we have. We have 28 likes. That's doing very, very well. And also we have 34 votes. The question was, what are you more interested in? The stock watch list, the upcoming earnings, the market update, or all of the above? I'm glad 68% of you are saying all of the above, but we are now at the stock watch list. So I hope you guys are ready for this. Make sure you hit that like, and if I'm bringing you any form of entertainment or education, please hit that subscribe button. It helps me out tremendously. We are so close to actually getting paid on YouTube. The more money I make on YouTube, the less time I have to spend at work, the more time I can focus on bringing you the best content in the overall market, and we can do things more and better, okay? My whole objective here, guys, is to have a morning show where I can get on every single day and hop on here for 3 hours, and I can wake up with you, have a cup of coffee, go over the overall market and our leaders and see where our trades are going to be taken, and I can take those live trades with you. We've done it. We'll do it again, and I would like to continue. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe, guys. Thank you so much for supporting me. Now, let's do this, baby. B. Stewie says, hit that like button. Thank you so much. Dan Bob Dan has posted our link tree. Guys, if you click on that post, you can go to our Discord. It's absolutely free. Of course, download TradingView. Buy the Essential Plan. It gives me a little kickback. It helps me out a lot. We have Instagram, TikTok, and if you click on this Facebook, you can join our Swing Trader Strategies community. Our Facebook is the best Facebook I have ever been a part of. Dan Bob Dan, the greatest monitor alive, has been keeping the cleanest thing. Look at 2024 biggest themes. You can go over this. You need to study this. It has all of our biggest themes right here. If you scroll down, you can see the bull bear brief. You can stay ahead of the curve. Read all about it. It's absolutely beautiful. He posts our sector tracker to tell you where the money has been flowing. You can see the Sunday inspirations. No pessimists ever discovered the secrets of the stars or sailed to uncharted lands or opened a new heaven to the human spirit. Helen Keller. There is plenty on there, so make sure that you guys go there and sign up for our Swing Trader Strategies on Facebook. Now, let's do this, baby. This is our stock market watch list. This is why we're the #1 watch list, because we're bringing you the best, the absolute best in the overall market. Brother, and if you whine and cry and you say, these are too expensive, Dave, they're too expensive, we actually have in our resource page, and thank you for the subscription. I missed the name. It's too fast for me. But thank you for your subscribe. We appreciate you supporting this channel. But if you go to our Discord, you will see, guys, right here in our Discord, if you go down to this resource section, Jeff, thank you for your subscription. I appreciate you. If you scroll down here in our resource page, we have this page right here. Look at this. Take a screenshot if you want to. It has Alibaba, BABX. It's a 2x leverage. It's cheaper. You want to play Google? Use GGLL. It is cheaper. Now remember, these are short-term trades. These are swing trades. We get in, we follow the momentum, and then we get out when the going is good. After it breaks down below a 10-day moving average, we exit these trades. So when you're playing a 2x leverage, it's okay to play it, right? So Meta, it's okay to play a 2x leverage stock, but you have to know when to get out. You have to know when to stop. And that's why we have a very specific program here. And if you want to learn my strategies, you can join our YouTube, Facebook, and you will get my swing trading and my base breakout strategies. It's only $5 a month. I think it's only $5 a month. And then, of course, if you want further mentorship, if you want an hour of my time, you can sign up for that through YouTube, or you can reach out to me at davidworrell@gmail.com. We can hash out what you want to work on and what you want to focus on, and I'll give you an hour of my time. And we have very, very competitive prices, guys, and there's definitely a lot that goes into that. All right, first up, we have DECK, D-E-C-K. It's sitting at $207. Why do I like this? Because the overall market is pulling back right now, and DECK is absolutely kicking some booty. It's still holding above that 10-day moving average. What does that tell me? Strength. That shows that it is a leader in the market, people. I like DECK. You need to put this on your watch list. I've been talking about it for quite some time. WGS, we've been talking about it for quite some time, and look, it had that trend breakout. It's above that 10-day moving average. And now we're looking at DECK holding a beautiful base breakout. You could almost see this actually as a trend breakout as well. You can see it getting very, very tight in its range here. And if the overall market starts to turn around, it starts to create those new higher lows and starts to head higher, you're going to see DECK want to explode higher. Because if the overall market's pulling back, but DECK, nobody wants to sell its shares, then DECK will move much higher when the overall market starts to turn around. So put DECK on your watch list. B. Stewie, that's what I like to read in the chat. B. Stewie says risk management is key. If you do not have risk management and you blow up your account, then how are you to ever trade again? You can't trade unless you have an account. So make sure you understand risk management. And we do have a free course. It's absolutely free in our YouTube, a free course on risk management. So be sure that you watch that. It is so damn important. Nathan Sheffield, may I join the Discord? You absolutely can. Click on my link tree down below, click on the Discord link, and you can join the Discord for free. We also will be having on Wednesday a meeting in Discord. Okay, it'll be recorded if you can't make it, but every night on Wednesday at 9 p.m. we have a Discord meeting, and it's just a group talk. It's at the round table. It's absolutely awesome. So make sure you join. All right, let's continue. Next up is VST. Now VST has done some absolutely amazing things as the market has pulled back. It's created this beautiful cup. Now we're waiting for the handle here. So here's your cup. Here's your handle, and if we break out above this area, I want to be a part of it, okay? Now, as of right now, I do not want this thing to break out. If this breaks out, will the overall market where it's sitting, I cannot play. I am risk off, my hands are off, and I'm waiting on the overall market. I'm going to wait to see what the market does, because if we head lower, these stocks aren't going to hold up for very long. But I like VST. I have no idea what they do. They're in utilities, the electric utilities. I don't know what they do. I could care less. I like the technical pattern. I like the fact that they're a leader in the market. And if it has a cup with handle, I want to be there for it. Now, if you haven't heard of Bros, Bros is starting to get really, really popular out there. Bros is like a buzzword almost. You see this Bros, Dutch Bros coffee. They're a consumer non-durables, food, and specialty. They also sell candy, which is surprising. But if you look at their quarterly earnings, you can see why this is a leader. They are making money. Look at annually. They are making money, guys. Their revenue was $50 million on 21, is $739 million in 22, and now in 2023, $965 million. They are absolutely destroying numbers, okay? They are a growth stock. Bros is kicking ass, and if you don't have it on your watch list, you need to put it on your watch list, because I think this thing can continue higher. It created this base, and it broke above this base, and I really like to see that happen. Now it's retesting that basing area, still above a 10-day moving average. Now, I actually hold Google. Let me see where we're at. I think, so I bought Google before we pulled back, and I'm just managing this position. I bought Google right here on this day when we broke out of this trend. I didn't buy it on higher volume because I'm buying a big boat of Google, right? And I want to be a part of this. And sure enough, it took off. Excuse me. Woo! It took off here. And as it took off, I was very happy, very euphoric. It got almost up to all-time highs and started to fail. But I'm still holding my full position in this. It's not much. Let me see. I hold 20 shares, okay? So you do the math. At 192, I'm holding 20 shares of this. I would love to add into this. If the overall market starts to turn around, I'll buy more Google. I like Google. I like what they're doing. I like how they're getting their hands in the quantum space. But I also like that they don't have to depend on their new Willow chip in order to continue to prove to their customers that they can make money, okay? They have their hands in everything. They're a big boat. And I like Google. And I like the fact that they made this big cup with handle. If we look at this on the weekly, it'll look a little cleaner for you. Nice cup with handle, and now it has this trend with a breakout. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here. It's still a leader in this overall market, and I would love to see it continue. Obviously, I drew this out for you, which I thought was kind of funny. It didn't follow it perfect, but I'd love to see this thing kind of base out here and start to take off as the overall market turns around. And if it does, I'm going to add into this. Now, Meta. I've been telling you guys about Meta for quite some time. I showed you guys this base. I told you this would be the best case scenario if we got a little tighter here on this trend base breakout, but we didn't. We actually broke out here. We gapped up over this in the morning. I did not get into this. It took off a little too fast for me. Of course, if you want to play Meta, you can use METU. Instead of spending $615 per share, you can use METU. It's a 2x leveraged bull leverage, And you can see instead of spending $600, you can spend $36 per share and get that same amount of volatility actually twice as fast using METU. So Meta is a leader in this market, and if you want to play it, you can use METU. Let's take a look at Reddit. Reddit is still holding above that 21-day moving average. It's still creating new higher lows here. We need to see it hold this 156. Okay, I would love to see this get a little bit tighter and then explode to the north side, but we do have a nice base off at this top. So if we can hold this base and we can continue higher, that would be best case base scenario. Okay, so we're gonna wait and see. You can see it's hit its head 1, 2, 3, 4 different times here. Of course, if we can make a new higher low and get a little tighter, this would be best case scenario. We do something like this and we get tighter, 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 and then of course we break out. Why do I show you guys this? Why do I show you? Why do I give you best case scenarios? Because I want 5-star setups. I don't want to take my money and put it into a shit stock. There's no way in hell I want to do that. If I wanted to gamble, I'd buy it right now. I would buy a penny stock, but I'm not a gambler, okay? I like to make money, and I hope you do too. And if you can get behind that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, because we do this shit every day, baby. We do this every day, and we want you to be a part of this. We want you to learn. Everything we give, everything we offer is free. There's a few things if you want to upgrade, if you want to, if you want a mentorship or something like that, we have all that extra stuff. But everything that I have found on the internet was free, and you can learn it for free too, okay? Now, I give you this because I want you to train your eye. I don't want you to just buy randomly. I don't want you to say, oh, well, this stock's on sale. When somebody says, oh, the stock's on sale, that makes me cringe, because nothing is on sale. The price is what it is. If you go to Walmart and it says clearance, it used to be $20, now it's $7.99. Well, that doesn't mean anything. That means the price is $7.99. And right now the price for Reddit is $167. It doesn't mean it's on sale. It means that the price is $167. And I'm getting excited because I've been reading so many chats, so many different forums, and there's so many people out there, and I know I can't save everybody. Somebody called me you're a white knight, Dave, but I really do feel like it is my duty to teach people to stay out of crap stocks and buy the leaders. If you buy the leaders and then you don't follow your risk management, that's your own damn fault. But you're at least in something that has a likely probability to continue higher, right? And if you're going to risk, you have a tight risk. That way, if you do lose, you lose a little, but if you do win, you gain a lot. And if you can get back behind that, I know if you're a new trader, you might not understand it much, but if you are a seasoned vet, you are shaking your head, you're nodding your head, yes, up and down, because you know damn well that I'm right, and this is what we need to do. Yes, Stan Bob, I said duty. It is my duty, all right? What could Meta rise to? So Nathan, that's one thing I don't do. I don't have price targets because here's the thing. If we seen a cup with handle like we did here, and I said, oh, this thing could go to 200. Well, it could go to 200, right? Reddit could go to 200. Hell, it still could go to 200. But the thing is I'm not in it to say, if this cup and handle breaks to the north side, then I'm going to get out at 130. No, what I would do is I would say, this broke out, I'm going to use this 10-day moving average as my stop loss, or the 21-day moving average as my stop loss, and have a trailing stop so you get the majority of the bulk. Nathan, no, don't apologize, brother. I absolutely love the questions. That's how we're learning here. You guys can ask any questions that you want, okay? That is how we learn. That's how I'm able to teach, and steel sharpens steel. If you ask a question that I don't know, I'm going to have to go figure it out. I'm going to have to go learn it so that way I can regurgitate that information and continue to teach and be the best teacher that I possibly can be, okay? So with that being said, Reddit or Meta, how high can it go? I don't know. But if it does break out and we do take a trade, I know where I'm going to get out. I'll know where I'm going to stop out. If it breaks below, let's say, previous day's low, I know I'm going to stop out. If it breaks out higher and we get 5R, I'll take out half of my trade, and then I'll let the last half ride until we close below a 10 or 21-day moving average, depending on where it's holding, okay? We also have AVGO, guys. Look at this. Listen, I'm not shitting you. I drew this out when we were here. AVGO is following my lines to a T. Now, these are all just guesses, but when you see this on the chart, these are called best case scenarios. Let me take the sweatshirt off. I'm getting pumped up. Let's go. Let's go, baby. All right, so AVGO, when you see these yellow lines, these drawn out lines, these are what I consider best case scenario lines, okay? AVGO, rip, tater chip to the north side. Yeah, baby, rip, tater chip to the north side. Love to see it, but we weren't gonna buy up here, okay? We aren't gonna buy down here. We're gonna wait until we see at least 3 new higher lows, and right now we have 1, 2, 3 new higher lows. We'll see if this is the new higher low, but we also want to see 3 new lower highs, 1, 2, and 3 new lower highs. So now we are really looking at AVGO to find a trade in. And of course, AVGO is expensive. It's expensive. So what can we use for AVGO? Well, we take a look at our handy dandy notebook and we find AVGO on here, alphabetical order. Thank you, Dan Bob, for creating this for us. Actually, is it not on here? Oh, there it is, Broadcom. I'm looking for AVGO, it's Broadcom. We can use AVL or AVGX, okay? So we can look at AVL or AVGX, and instead of spending all that money, you can use this $30 rather than spending $221 on this, okay? But back to the subject at hand. If AVGO continues to follow my best case scenario, creating these new higher lows, new lower highs, I would love to see it get a very tight range before breaking out. Now, it might do that sooner, and if it does, I will be a part of that as long as the overall market is a part of it, okay? With the market down where it's at right now, I don't want to be a part of this. I'm not going to buy here. I'm not going to buy if it breaks out here. I'm going to wait. I'm sitting on my hands. It's one of the hardest things that I can possibly do. Boss of the South, click the link tree to the Dan Bob posted the link tree. You click that above there and then click the Discord and you will be able to join that Discord for free, brother. Jeffrey says, laughing my ass off. This guy just a liquidity pump for the dump guys. I got to think about that now. I'm a liquidity pump for the dump guys. I'm not really sure, but you're probably right, dude. You're probably, yeah, whatever. You're right. I'm wrong. AVGO is looking good. I would love to see this thing take off, but we have to wait. We have to wait and see. We had to follow our process, all right? We got to follow our process. Boss of the South, you're absolutely welcome, brother. Welcome to the squad, man. We have A-Lab. Now, A-Lab is breaking down finally. It finally broke that 10-day moving average, breaking that 21-day moving average as well. So we need to see where this lands. Maybe this gives us an opportunity to finally get in, but I have to wait for that trend and base breakout. The strategy that I've been following that has been making me money, we need to wait and see it form. So right now I'm just hands off. I'm waiting to see if my setups come into fruition. APP. Now APP got me here. If you guys look, APP had this nice base breakout. I did take this trade and I stopped out the very next day, but that's okay. I took a small loss for a potential of a large gain. And we will do that time and time again. But now APP is made a new lower low. If this thing rallies back up after this undercut, so you guys can see right here, this thing came down and it broke below this low. This is its base low. If it rallies, it'll be called an undercut and rally, and that is a very, very bullish sign for the stock. Breaking out or breaking down and getting all the weak hands to shake out, right? We want all the weak hands to shake out of there, and if they shake out, then you'll see institutional ownership come back in, buy all those weak-handed stocks that are being sold out, and then it's going to break out higher through this area. So we're going to keep a close eye on this to see if we get the undercut and rally. If we get that, then we're going to see this thing go much, much higher. Now we have, I have a few more stocks that I want to go over. We'll go over about 4 more, but while we are waiting, take a look at my screen, guys. Do me a favor, vote on this. We have 37 votes. It looks like 65% of you say all of the above. You're here for the stock watch list, the upcoming earnings, and the market update. We have went through all of it. I got about 4 more stocks I want to share with you, and then we're going to go over any stock that you post in the chat. But make sure you hit this like button. Let me refresh this page. We got 37 of you watching right now, and we have 28 likes. So those of you that have not hit that like button, please do that for me right now. We're trying to have the absolute best show on the YouTubes. The old YouTubes out there, we want to be the best show, and there's a lot of competition out there, but there's a lot of fluff. There's a lot of gurus out there taking your money. I'm not going to ask a dime. If you want to upgrade, if you do want to get that next step up, we do offer mentorships, but I'm not going to shove that shit down your throat. If you want it, reach out to me, davidworrell8@gmail.com. Link is in the description down below. You can find my email down there if you'd like to find some pricings for that. Of course, you can become a member on YouTube. I think it's $5 a month, and we have 2 different memberships. You get new emojis, and you'll get my trend and base breakout setups. It goes in depth. I mean, I think it's 3 hours worth of material. If you want to learn the trend and base breakout strategy that I have made mucho el grandio on, go ahead and take a look at that. And I think it's $5 a month. You can watch the videos and then you can cancel if you want to. It's totally up to you guys. Anyway, right back at it. Hit that like and subscribe for me. SMWB, this thing is just below a 10-day moving average. We showed you the trend breakout when the overall market looked halfway decent. We had a nice trend breakout here. It's still holding above its breakout area. So if you were in this, I always like to use the all-time high to take at least half of my shares. So if you would have taken this breakout right here, you could have exited half of your shares here, and you would be holding that last half for break even. Meaning you would have already made your money if you would have taken this last Sunday when we talked about this. You would have already made your money even in a shit market, and this thing is pulling back now. If it gets back to our break-even area, you'll be all out. That means you have made money on the first half and you broke even on the second half. That is my strategy. That is what we're trying to do here. And of course, we're going to keep a look on Amazon. It's looking a lot like the NASDAQ and the S&P 500. And you know, let's take a look at just a couple more, because NVIDIA, after the CES, this thing had that break at 150, hit a new all-time high, and then just sold off hard. It's very sad to see, but when everybody's on one side, it's just not going to work out. So we're going to see what this thing wants to do. It's still holding its trend. If it could continue to hold this beautiful trend, I would love to see it continue to head higher. This might be the best time to buy, but I cannot buy here. I have to wait to see if this cup forms a handle and then we break out, or a trend or a base. One of those three. If we can get one of those three, I'll be in like Flynn, baby. And of course, Tesla. Good old Uncle Tesla, still above a 50-day moving average, but it is beautiful. We made a lot of money in our Discord on this base breakout. We used TSLL though, because instead of spending all that hard-earned money, you could have bought it for $22, $23 was the breakout area. We called this base breakout. This is a piece of candy. If you're trying to train your eye, you need to train your eye on this. We're gonna add Fubo right now. Oh, oopsie. We're going to add Fubo to the leaders list for sure, because it's definitely one to keep an eye on. We'll go over that in just a minute. But Tesla, absolutely beautiful. If you guys played this trend or this base breakout with me, we exited right here at 31.30, meaning we got in this at $23 and we exited right here after 33%. So you made 33% in about 2 weeks, guys. 2 weeks. That was absolutely beautiful. This is what we're waiting for. This is the kind of setups that we're waiting for. And if you were patient enough to wait and take this trade, then there you have it. You made your money. And now we're exiting. We're out of this trade as this falters and fails. So good old Uncle Tesla, probably going to have a few beers. It's going to be a little wobbly, a little shaky, but once it gains its legs, maybe we form a trend or a base breakout here and we can get back in the trade again to make some money. Those are all the stocks that I wanted to go over. So now this is the fun part. This is where we focus only on you. If you guys have a stock that you want me to bring up, then you need to post it in the chat right meow so I can take a pretty little look at it. Now, we're going to start with Fubo and we're going to work our way down. So Dan Bob has posted Fubo. I see SANA and I see Hood. If you guys have a stock that you want to post, if you want me to do analysis, if you want me to do anything to it, let me know. I'm going to give you my best take on it and we'll go over it. Okay, so just post it in the chat. I see NVTS, Hood, SANA, FUBO. We're definitely going to do it. Question for Boss. Are you guys options traders or just stocks? I only focus on stocks. I know we have a few options traders in there, but I focus specifically on stocks. I do not like time decay. I don't mess with options because of time decay. I like to get in and not have to worry about how long I need to be in to let my trade work or to exit the trade when I need to. So I don't mess with options at all. It's just the way I trade. But this technical analysis works for options traders for sure. All right. We got quite a few stocks to go over now. I see you guys posting them. You can even post altcoins. You can post altcoins if you want to too. They hold technical analysis as well. We'll go over those. So you post anything that you guys want to, we'll go over it. But first and foremost, we're going to go over Dan Bob Dan's The Greatest Moderator Alive. He posted FUBO. And FUBO had a partnership with Disney. Did they get bought out by Disney or just a partnership with Disney? I'm not 100% sure. I want to know if JT is still holding FUBO. I want to know because the last time I talked to you, JT, you said, yeah, you know I'm gambling if I bought FUBO because, you know, it's way down here. It's a penny stock. It looks like garbage, you know, and I was like, yeah, dude, it's not looking good. Well, who would have thought FUBO would have got news like this? FUBO got a great piece of news. I think they're partnering or they got bought out by Disney. You guys can correct me on which one it is. But FUBO, rip, tater chip, baby. Rip, tater chip has a beautiful pop here. Now, what do we want to see in best case scenario for FUBO? It's very, very simple. FUBO has this big pop up and a pullback on volume. Now it's pulling back on lighter volume. So we have volume contraction pattern coined by Mark Minervini right here. What would I like to see? I'd like to see this thing do something like this, okay? Why? Why do we want to see this? Because after expansion in a stock, we want to see contraction, okay? And if we get contraction and we get a tightening range here, just like this, we will have a trend and then a breakout. And when we break out of a stock here, we're going to see this thing move up much higher, much faster. So we're waiting on FUBO. Yes, FUBO looks good. Yes, FUBO might go higher. But I think for right now, after we've gotten this large amount of expansion in FUBO, we're going to need to see contraction, meaning it is expanded. It has moved up an concerning amount, meaning it has moved up 358% at one time. We need to see this thing contract, get smaller, start moving, let's say 9%. Rather than 300%, okay? We want to see it get very, very tight before the expansion happens again. And then we want to be a part of the expansion, and then we will exit when we are done. JP, please tell me you are still holding FUBO. I know it was a gamble trade for you, but let me know. And if you're JP, if you're the JP from Jiu-Jitsu, I think you're the JP from Jiu-Jitsu, but let me know. Let me know in the chat. If you're not, I'm sorry. I know another JP, so let me know. So FUBO is looking good. Definitely one to keep on your watch list. I want to get rid of, let's see, we'll get rid of IONQ. We're going to add FUBO to our list, and let's move on to the next one. So we're going to consider FUBO a leader just for now, just because it's doing very, very well. But, you know, I really don't think this is a leader. I would consider, you know, like an Amazon Prime a leader, you know, because they're still in the concerning factor. But very specifically, FUBO only focuses on the TV sector related things, technology services, and internet software services. So it's a lot different than Amazon, obviously. So maybe I shouldn't. Okay, next stock. Wow, we got quite a few in here. We got quite a few to go over. We're going to make sure we get over all of them. So SANA, no Sosa says. So SANA had a huge pop up, but you can see it's below a 200-day moving average. Huge pop in volume, but the issue is there's a lot of overhead resistance here. And you can see the majority of this overhead resistance, I can just try and draw this out for you. Let me bring up my lines here. All right, so look, if we look at this and we bring it all the way from back here, you can see this is going to be the heaviest area of resistance. And you can see SANA just popped right up into that area and got sold off really, really hard. So I don't like the way this looks. Now, of course, this thing could eventually set up, but because it's below a 200-day moving average and it's declining, I'm not expecting this thing to do very well. Okay, I'm expecting this thing to continue to head lower. Not to mention, it is a health technology biotech. That sector is doing awful right now, and you have to know, always, please, 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 if you guys are looking at a stock and it says biotechnology here, that holds more concern because biotechs, the overnight, can come with an FDA news that can just completely tank the stock. So you have more inherent risk with biotechs. I don't stay away from biotechs because I remember January, February, March of this year, I believe it was, or was it last? I think it was this year. Yeah, this year. In January and February, that's all I was trading because biotech was hot heat. Health technology and biotech was doing really, really good. But I was only trading the best out of the best stocks. This is very, very bad. You can see that this has just this huge downtrend. I mean, it's very obvious to me. It's just this huge downtrend. So I would not be looking at SANA at all unless you're looking to short this thing, like shorting pops. Let's say it pops up and then it starts to, head lower. You might want to short a pop, but I'm not telling you to short stocks, okay? Let's see. What do we got next? Let's see here. Let me throw this over here so I can see it a little better. Okay, we got Hood. Jolene, sweet Jolene, we finally made it to you, girl. Jolene, I'm so happy you're here, and I'm so happy what you do. I hope everybody is happy and healthy in your family. I hope everything's going okay out there in Cali. I know that there's a lot of fires out there, so just be really careful. We are praying for you, Jolene. We are praying for you, so I hope everything's going well. So Hood is setting up. It's looking really, really good here. Of course, we're going to focus on Bitcoin. It follows Bitcoin pretty well, but Hood is just trading sideways here. We have a basing area. Right here is your base area, that $42 area, and it's creating new higher lows, so it's a good sign. What do I mean by new higher lows? Well, here's your low. Here's your new higher low, and here's your new higher low. So we have 3 new higher lows, and it's right on top of that 10-day moving average. So I really liked the look of this thing. I'd really like to see this thing continue higher. So we'll see very, very soon. Will Hood continue higher? I know if Bitcoin starts to hold off, if it starts to curl up higher, Hood will probably head up higher as well. But we do have to keep in mind, Hood is not specifically Bitcoin related. It does follow it. A lot of times when Bitcoin goes higher, Hood will go higher. And it does have correlation at times, but not all the time, because Hood, Robinhood, is its own banking system. It's in the finance or investment bankers. So just keep an eye on that. If XLF does well, Hood might do well. But Hood's got its hands in a few different things, okay? So we'll keep an eye on Hood, and I really like that. That's a really good stock, Jolene, and thank you for bringing it to my attention. What else we got? NVTS from Finn McCool. Finn, I like the name. That's pretty cool. So this is a semiconductor. Now, semiconductors are doing well, but remember that NVTS, right off the get, you have to understand that it is not a leader, okay? I know a lot of people are talking about MSTR. No. MSTS. Oh, I can't think of it now. Oh, guys, sometimes it's hard live. MSCI? Yeah, super micro. A lot of people are talking about super micro. You're talking about, and you're talking about NVTS. If you guys are looking at semiconductors, you need to look at the leader. You need to look at NVIDIA, okay? And if you're thinking NVIDIA is too expensive at 135, look at NVDL. That's 67. It's a lot cheaper to trade this, right? It's like half the price. Okay, so if you're going to look at NVTS, just know it's not a leader. It's below a 200-day moving average, and if we zoom out, it's on this constant downtrend, okay? So I don't like this downtrend, all right? Now, if it can break above this 200-day moving average, start making new higher lows, which it is, but it's not a leader, okay? So it has some support. We have a nice low here, a new higher low here, and a new higher low here. If it holds, if it creates this new higher low, it needs to hold this 276, okay? But this is a cheap stock. We are starting to get some volume in here, so it's not all bad. We get a lot of volume in here. We're getting volume contraction pattern here. But if NVIDIA doesn't head higher, NVTS is most likely not going to head higher either. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It's not a leader. It is getting volume. It is creating new higher lows. But this isn't the area that I would want to get in. This might be the best. This might be the best time to buy. I don't know. But the concerning factor for me is that it's not a leader. That there are leaders in the market, and NVIDIA is that leader. AVGO is that leader. I would focus more on those rather than NVTS. Also, if we look at the financials for NVTS, you can see here quarterly not doing so well. They're actually losing money the last 3 quarters. This quarter they're doing a little better. Annually, it looks like their net margin percentage is heading much lower in 2023. So we'll see what comes out in 2024. But I think there's better stocks out there for you, Mick Cool. Let's see, CDT. And trust me, guys, if you put a ticker in the chat, I will go over it. I don't care how long I got to be here, as long as I get to wet my whistle from time to time. Woo! Yep, we're good. We're good to go. All right, so CDT, first thing, when I look at this thing, the first thing I see is we are so far below a 200-day moving average. That is not a good sign. This is also a penny stock. We're talking 12 cents here. All right, so if we just do a ton of zooming in, I can see why this might get you excited, because you see a big move here, right? We were sitting off these lows all the way down here, and we zoom up, and this thing's moved 161%. That gets the investors excited. But the issue is, every time we zoom out, we have this area of resistance. It's selling off into this area, and it's not a good sign. Now, this thing could go higher, but I would say that a long-term or a swing trade, you don't want to be a part of this. This is more of a day trader's kind of speculation, but this would be a stock that I would want to short pops into, right? Every time it pops up, you'd want to short it. Now, I'm not telling you to short. Please don't short unless you've made a couple $1 million already. But this is in the pharmaceuticals as well, and that sector's not doing so hot. So just keep that in mind. Be careful with that CDS. Jonathan, thank you so much, Jonathan. I do appreciate you putting that up there. Yes, we talked about XTIA. We did talk about this stock. And remember, guys, when we talked about XTIA, I told you guys that this was not a very good stock to be a part of, okay, because of its concerning low price. And look at this thing. I mean, I got to zoom way out for this. I mean, it just constantly is failing. It's just such a yucky chart. Now, I'm not trying to shit on you. I'm not trying to talk bad about it too much. But when you look at stocks like this, guys, and you get a big pop in here, and you zoom out, and you got to look to the left. Look where it popped up. It popped right up into this area of resistance. This is a big area here. So if we look at this, and I just draw this, let me just use this here. So if I just draw this area out, this would be your area of resistance, right? So when we pop up into that area of resistance and it sells off like that, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign for the stock. So now we're trading at $7.31. Sure, I could see this thing popping back up a little bit, but I have a feeling if it does pop back up that little bit, it's going to get sold right off into. So it would pop up like this and then head lower. That's my guess. It could head much higher. I don't really know, but that is my technical analysis on this. I'm much rather you watching, if you're going to watch aerospace, go to our Facebook page and you'll find out right away that we have a list in there of all the best aerospace technology stocks. That's what you want to look at. Those are the aerospace that you want to keep an eye on, okay? So yes, XTIA is dead, Rogue Warrior. You're 100% correct. And wow, we got so many stocks in the chat. Let's get through these, guys. INTC from Harry DV. Thank you so much for putting it in the chat. Guys, the first thing I look at when I look at these things is the 200-day moving average. We're well below it, and now we're at an area of what you could consider support. Okay, it's at an area of support. If it breaks this area of support, this $19 area, I could see INTC heading lower. If we zoom out and we look at the overall area on the daily time frame, you can see this thing is on a downtrend, a long-term downtrend, a short-term downtrend. This thing continually fails. The 200-day moving average is curling down. It's not looking good. I do not like Intel. It might be at an area of support. but we'll have to just wait and see if it is supported. ECOR from B. Stewie. B. Stewie says ECOR, and yes, this looks very, very nice, creating new higher lows. It looks like it had this nice base right here. And what I like about this base is it also forms this nice trend here. So this would have been the area for take. A nice cup with handle, and then it breaks out on higher volume, comes back down and retests this area and starts to head higher. So it looks like it's forming another base right here. This base might hold true, and if it does, this might be the area we would want to get in. But time will tell. We're going to see if it wants to hold this 21-day moving average. It looks like it got soaked up pretty well right there. So we'll see. Does it want to still hold? Some of the latest news, ElectroCore receives 5 U.S. patents covering medical device innovations. It expands intellectual property portfolio. So it's getting some good news to come in for ECOR, but we'll have to wait and see if this thing wants to hold up with the overall market pulling back. So nice. B. Stewie, thank you so much for that. Yosef says CLBT. Yosef, what's going on, dude? It's good to see you, homie. Yeah, so this thing's beautiful. Now look at this thing. This is why I say trend is your friend. If you look at this, you can clearly see that this is on a very clear uptrend. Look at this. I'll just draw it just like that, guys. Look at that. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. These are the kind of uptrends that you want to see and you want to be a part of, okay? Beautiful uptrend, and now it looks like it's holding a nice trend right here. Oops, wrong one. Let me go ahead and draw this out for you. Look at this trend right here. This is definitely one that we want to keep an eye on, guys. And now it's coming back down. It's retesting this area of breakout. If it holds the 21-day moving average that it's shown so much support on so far, this thing could definitely head higher. So CLBT looking really, really good. Let's take a look to see what CLBT does. It's technology software, packaged software that's doing decent. Now, when we look at the overall financials of this thing, well, that's very interesting. They're not doing very well. Actually, just their last quarter, they're really, really doing bad. They're down 220 million. So financially, this CLBT is not looking good. I would be very, very careful with CLBT. This thing could drop at any given time. Technically, it looks good. Fundamentally, it looks like dog a doo-doo. So let's keep an eye on that. Yosef also says CRNT. Now, I think we've talked about CRNT. Yes, we have. Look at this trend breakout. Huge push up on volume, a pullback, riding a 10-day moving average, getting tight. After the expansion, we have contraction. It gets tight, and then it breaks out again. Comes back down and retests that area and then continues higher. It looks like it's getting a little wonky, a little choppy here, so we might want to wait and see what happens for this. But CRNT has been a nice trader for the time being. Wow, we got so many in the chat. UEC, this thing needs some more time. It looks like it's down here on support. This is uranium energy. You know, this, I think uranium is running really, really well with nuclear. So, you know, NNE holding really well. SMR, you know, not holding as well. But when we're looking at like uranium stocks like UEC, they kind of run hand in hand. And as you can see, it had a nice run. It's back down here at support. It looks like it's a slower mover, but you know, below a 50-day moving average, below all of its moving averages, it's not a leader, but you know, it could hold. It could hold. It might hold. ALLT, let's take a peeky gander. Wow, look at this thing, guys. Now, when you look at a stock like this, Electronic Technology, ALLT, this thing is a beautiful uptrend. Thank you for pointing this thing out for me. Nathan Sheffield, thank you for pointing this out. This is a nice looking runner. Now, we haven't talked about this yet, but when we have things that are getting extended like this, it's extended from its 10-day moving average. So when I see this, this is definitely one we want to keep an eye on because it's really doing well, but we can't take this trade until it forms a trend or a base breakout. And this is a perfect example right here for ALLT. This is my trend breakout strategy. It moves up on higher volume. Here's a big bout of volume, a euphoric bout of volume, and then it pulls back and it creates a tightening range and then it breaks out again. And now look, you could have held on to this trade. And of course, hindsight, I'm 20/20, right? Don't get me wrong. I'm looking at this thing in hindsight, But, you know, I have many, many trades that I have taken that look a lot like this. Like, let's just take a look at Netflix right here, folks. This is a picture perfect trend break that we played, and I made a ton of money on Netflix. I could have made a lot more, but hey, you know, that's what happens. I exited before my sell rules, and I made some money, but I could have made a lot more. It was an emotional sell-off, and that's why we have rules in place. So we don't use our emotions. We use our rules. We stick to those rules so we know and understand them, and we can make the most out of our trades. So when we look at stocks like that, ALLT, we look at these trend breakouts, we hone our eye in, and now we're waiting for that again. We're either waiting for a base or a trend breakout in order to be able to play this thing. So put this on your watch list, guys. I really like it. Thanks for bringing that up, Nathan. GRCE, we're going to go through these. Yeah, this is looking good too. We're getting some volume here. What I don't like is there's a lot of wicks here. There's a lot of wicks, like there's a wick here, here. It's just anytime it gets up into this area, it's just selling off. So be really, really careful with this stock because these wicks, it has this big area in this 460 that it's just selling off every time. But if it can hold and it can create a new higher low off of this, that would be a good sign for this this market. Now, it is a therapeutic stock. That means that it holds inherent risk. It's coming with risk because anything can happen with these therapeutic stocks. So be very, very careful with that, okay? All right. CLNE, that's clean energy. I think, yeah, clean energy fuels. Aren't these Bitcoin related? CLNE, if I remember correct. Utilities, gas, okay, no, it's not. So it's on a downtrend, but it looks like it's trying to break out of this area right here. It looks like it's trying, and there's some volume coming in too with it. Definitely want to keep your eyes on. It just broke above its 200-day moving average. It looks like it's trying to hold above it. And now the 200-day moving average is starting to curl up. So this might be leaving a stage 1 and entering a stage 2. If you don't know what a stage 1 or a stage 2 is, I'll just bring it up. Stan Weinstein stage analysis. It's definitely something that you guys need to know and understand. And so let me just bring up this picture for you. So this is Stan Weinstein. Here's a stage analysis. You can see this stage 1, you get this base right here where it just chops around, and then you get a stage 2 and then a stage 3. So if we look at this stock and we put this on the weekly time frame like Stan would do, you might consider this the stage 1. Here's the stage 4. Here's the stage 1. This might enter a stage 2 if it can break above this area. So go ahead and keep CLNE on your watch list. I'm not looking at the fundamentals. If we look at the overall of this, it looks really, really bad. You can see this is on a clear downtrend here. But if this wants to turn around and wants to pick up here, that might be a good sign. But right now, the trend is your friend, and right now it's just trading sideways. So don't get your money tied up in something that's just going to trade sideways. We want to make money. We don't want to just let money sit, right? Okay. All right, let me keep on keeping on. Wow, we got somebody in the chat. You guys, I appreciate each and every one of you being here in the chat. And yeah, smashing that like button, B Stewie. Hell yeah, let's go. And don't worry, I'm gonna get to every single one of you. So please. Oh my gosh, did I miss? Did I miss anybody? Oh my gosh, we have so many. Okay, there we go. Fubo equals live TV, Dan Bob says. Yeah, absolutely. Boss of the South says ASE, it's a chip stock, but around 10 to 12 bucks. So ASE is below a 200-day moving average and it's downtrending. It might be at an area of support because you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different times it was at this area right here. So it might be at an area of support, but there's leaders in the market that you can look at. Look at NVDA, you know, look at AVGO. Look at the leaders. They are uptrending. They're doing well. They've already proven themselves. You don't need to look at these. You don't have to look at these ASE chip stocks. You might take interest in it, but I did that for the longest time. And then I read a ton of books, a lot of material. Buy high, sell higher, right? You buy leaders and they lead, right? If the leaders aren't leading, the shit stocks aren't going to lead either. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Noah Sosa sent you too. How hard can it be? What's going on, brother? It's good to see you. And I absolutely love Noah Sosa. He is absolutely just bringing the heat with him, baby. I really appreciate you, Noah. Thank you so much for having everybody join. So thank you so much. And guys, before I continue on, make sure you hit that like and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed yet, do me a favor, humor me, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. We want to be the greatest show out there. If we aren't already, it's just because we haven't been discovered by the masses. We have an amazing community. We are momentum traders. We find leaders in the market that hold base and trend breakouts, and we take those trades on higher volume, and we hold on to those as long as we can until they lose their momentum, and then we exit the stock. Risk management is our #1 key takeaway from every video. If you can get behind that, hit that like, hit that subscribe. I'm here for the newbies, but we know the seasoned vets will back me up on everything I'm saying. And you're only a seasoned vet if you're using risk management. Because if you haven't been, then you aren't a seasoned vet. You're broke. You're a broke gambler. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe if you can get behind that, baby. Let's go. Let's continue on. So let's see. Glad you made it. Yes. Welcome, welcome. Everything great. Oh, what's going on, Ash? Good to see you, brother. I didn't even see you sneak in here, Ash. Good to see you, man. Yeah, so SBEV, I might sound like a broken record here, but look at the 200-day moving average. We always have to zoom out here, guys. We always have to zoom out. And I could ask a child this. A child would say, yes, this is going down, right? This is going down. So this is downtrending. Now, you could argue with me and say, well, it's getting a pop here. Well, guess what? If we did a replay on this and we came right to here, you would say, well, this thing's got a pop in it, right? Look, it's popped up here. This thing looks good, you know, it looks good. And then we would hit play. Let me hit play here. And then this thing would just tank, right? Well, guess what happens here? It pops back up. Well, after it comes down a little further. Comes down, comes down, comes down. Boom, another pop. What do you think is going to happen? Well, if I rewound this thing all the way to here, we could say that over and over again. It's popping, it's going up, it's looking exciting and euphoric. But look at the trend. It's trending down. It's below a 200-day moving average. It cannot get above a 200-day moving average. And until it does, I don't even want to look at this thing. So that's just my honest opinion, Ash. But I do appreciate you pointing that out. But Ash, I'm glad you made it back, brother. Thank you so much. Let's see, SMCI. So yeah, I brought up SMCI earlier. SMCI below a 200-day moving average. I know a lot of people are talking about SMCI, but look at the downtrend. Look at the downtrend. And you know, I have history with SMCI. I watched this base. When they came out right here, they had like a pre-earnings leak. So earnings came out and they had this huge double beat and it looked really, really good, but their earnings leak came out and it just absolutely killed it. And we made a lot of money on this. And then earnings came out and it lined up and it continued to be a great trader. But the issue with this trade was it became euphoric. And right on this day, I was telling everybody, this gap up concerns me. It's looking too euphoric. This gap up makes me think that this is its blow off top. And sure enough, it was. And by the next morning, we had gapped up. And then it sold off very, very hard. I was all out of this trade. I made a ton of money on SMCI. The issue with this trade is it started to form a nice trend again, and it looked like it was going to be another beautiful trade. The issue was it never broke out. It never broke out. What happened was it continued to make new lower lows instead of new lower highs and breaking out. It did not. It continued to break down. And now it's continued to breaking down. And instead of looking at this thing and saying, oh, it's on sale, this thing could go back up to 130. No, I don't think so. It's below a declining 200-day moving average. There is so much overhead resistance with this thing that if you did buy, you're going to get sold off into, okay? Now, this isn't buy or sell recommendations at all, but what I do like to preach is to focus on the leaders. Definitely focus on the leaders, guys, okay? So if you're going to look at SMCI, watch NVIDIA. Definitely watch NVIDIA, okay? Ash in the house. Yeah, into his house, Rogue Warrior says. Yeah, baby, this is what I like. This is why I like the community. Let's chat. Let's talk it up. Let's bring it up. AVGX, Jolene, yes, thank you. You were probably responding to me when I was trying to figure out AVGO. It is AVGX. Jeff Rosenberger says, if you have time, Roblox, been good for me a few months. You know, I used to hate on Roblox so much, but you cannot argue with price action. You can't. I was trading Roblox in these areas. It wasn't a good time for me. I actually tried to short Roblox at bad times. I lost probably a couple $1,000s on Roblox. And then, you know, when I seen this huge base, which, by the way, guys, this is a stage 1 leading into a stage 2. And I hate Roblox. I have a biasy. I can't get over it. My kids don't play Roblox. I know a lot of kids are into Roblox. I know they have a really cool platform to build off of. But I think Roblox, it's going to be a dying game, right? It's going to be a dying game. They're doing something right, because if we just look at price action, you can see this stage 1 is starting to enter a stage 2 now. And this stage 2, they're above a 10-day moving average. They're creating new higher lows here. Roblox has been good to you, and it's been good to its investors if you had bought after this basing breakout. So yes, I do like Roblox. I like the chart. I like the technical analysis on Roblox, and I really appreciate you bringing up Roblox, because to be quite honest, I have not had this on my radar much at all. I'm going to write this down so I can do a little bit deeper dive into its fundamentals. RBLX though, but keep that, you guys put that on your watch list. Thank you very much. Who pointed that out? Who pointed out? Jeff Rosenberg. Thank you. Anytime I say your last name, my pinky will go up. I have a spot of tea. A spot of tea. The pinky is up, Jeff Rosenberger. Thank you kindly. I do say. Michael Anthony says, MFA, book value is 1842, too close at 955, which pays a dividend each quarter, which oversold the upgrades from 11. Did I just get a super chat? No way. Norman Conklin, goodness gracious. First of all, Norman Conklin, thank you so much for being a part of this group and stopping in. Dirk Geek, thank you for subscribing. But Norman Conklin, you are my first super chat, and a big super chat at that. I made a video specifically for this, so we need to take a quick time out. Dan Bob does not want me to play this video. He doesn't want me to play this video, but I got to play this video. I made this for the super chat. If you super chat me, I'm going to play this. So let me just bring this up. It's a dumb video, but I got to play it for you, Norman. Thank you so much for the super chat. That really, you just made my day, dude. You just made my day. So let me bring this up. Let me find it. I hope you like it. Here we go. This one's for you, Norman. Woo! We just got ourselves a super chat, or a super like. I love it, I love it, I love it. Thank you so much. Let's dance, baby. Oh, yeah. Making that money, making it rain. Oh, that's for you, Norman. Oh, man. I had to learn that dance. I was trying to dance with that cat. It's such a... I love it. I hope you guys love it too. If you guys can get behind that, hit that like, hit that subscribe button. Norman Conklin's in the building, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for the super chat, Norman. You are awesome, and you are kicking ass and taking names, buddy. Good to have you in here with us. Oh, shoot. Dan Bob's going to hate me for playing it. I love it, though, guys. I love it. All right, let's get back into it. BITO JP says, BITO, so this is Bitcoin, guys. This is how, if you don't, the best way to buy Bitcoin is to buy Bitcoin and put it on a cold storage so nobody can steal your Bitcoin. But if you want to play Bitcoin, there's an ETF called BITO. This is the ProShares, the ETF of Bitcoin. And you can see here that it's still above a 200-day moving average. It has this huge downtrend, but when we look at something like this, we want to see new higher lows form. We have this low, we have new higher lows and a new higher low. Of course, this is going to follow Bitcoin. So if you're watching this, you need to watch Bitcoin. This is an ETF, so it's looking good. I mean, it's not looking good. It's not looking like we need to buy into BITO right now, but it is definitely something that you would want to keep an eye on if you are not trying to buy Bitcoin itself. You're trying to buy the ETF to be able to play it. Jensen killed QUBT. Yeah. So Walt Daminger says RGTI. So you're looking into the quantum spaces. Now, you have to be really careful with quantum. And if you haven't already, go watch my previous video. It says quantum failed is the thumbnail. It's very important to go all the way through that. Thank you for the subscription. Nathan Sheffield, you just now subscribed after all of that? Come on, man. I'm only kidding, brother. I appreciate you subscribing. Thank you so much. But when we go over RGTI, QBT, and QUBT, you got to understand, guys, there's nothing backing this up. There's no fundamental analysis backing this stuff up. It's a big issue. It's a big issue. If the company's not making money, everything's based off speculation, and it's a gamble, okay? So RGTI, well below this area, it gave back a lot of its gains. It dropped 61%. So it moved up, is that right? Yeah, over 1,000%, and now it's back down 60%. So what I would say if you're looking at RGTI or anything like this, your best bet is to see it basing. You'd want to see it basing out in this area and getting tight to form a trend before it breaks out, okay? That's what you would want to see on a best case scenario. Do I think that's going to happen? No. I think what's going to happen is this thing's going to pop back up into this area and then get sold off, because there's a lot of people that are in this, that bought at these highs and then woke up to an absolute horrible tank, okay? With that being said, if it pops back up here and you're holding, a lot of those people that are holding are going to sell off into it. They're going to sell off into it, and there's going to be people shorting into it too, knowing that there is a huge area of resistance above head. So be careful with RGTI. It's definitely not one that I'm going to trade, and I'm hands off. Also, QUBT, same thing. Same thing with IONQ. These are all those stocks that that just got completely shafted when Jensen came out and said that quantum computing isn't till 15, 20 years from now. Okay, so, and he really is the leader. You know, he is the big, everybody's eyes are on him. You can hate on him all you want, but you know, he's right. I mean, there's no quantum computing. We are so far from it. I've watched so much stuff on quantum computing. We have a long ways before quantum computing becomes a thing. But what I tell everybody is, if you like quantum computing and you like that sector, make a watch list so you can go back in a year from now, 6 months to a year, or 10 or 15 years from now, and see how these stocks are doing. If they're still in it to win it and they're still holding off, they're still doing well, they're still taking the consumer's money that they have right here, they use that money to invest in their quantum computing, and they actually become a beautiful company, they might be worth something one day. But right now, I got to stay hands off these things, okay? Dan Bob says, NVIDIA speaks at the healthcare conference this week. Hell yeah. We need to get on that. We need to see what time. Maybe we can have a show out of it. In the upper right-hand corner of the screen, cuts off the ticker. The ticker, actually, I have a watermark back here for you, just so you know. So you can see the watermark back here. If you ever need to know, just ask. I usually call it out a dozen times, so. Let's see, what else we got? Nathan, let's go, baby. We just got another one. Nathan, I appreciate you, man. So we'll go over BAER. Goodness gracious, you guys are actually just making my day today, man. Making my day. Cheesy vid, I liked it. Yeah, it's definitely a cheesy vid for sure. Oh, goodness. Hey, Norman, and you got that thing behind your name too, so that's cool. Let's see what else we got. Goodness, guys, we got so much. There's so much. I love it. I can't ask for anything more. Okay, since we got another chat from Nathan Sheffield, we're going to go over Bayer and then we'll go back. So Bayer is above that 200-day moving average, but it's breaking back down. Now, the issue is if I zoom out, trend is your friend. Right now, the trend is not your friend in Bayer. You can see this thing is constantly moving down. It tried to break above this trend and above the 200-day moving average and sold off once again. Why did it sell off? Most likely because there is this area right here. Let me draw it out for you. This area right here of resistance. So it popped up into resistance and it kind of sold back off there. I don't really like this. If I were to look for something in Bayer, my best case scenario would be it holds this area, breaks back up, and forms either a trend or it forms this a kind of a base here where we can have a nice area for risk management. meaning if it breaks above this area, if it forms this area and breaks above this area, we get in knowing that if it breaks below this area, we would exit the trade. But right now, with this just being a euphoric push up and a big sell-off, there's nothing we can do here. You don't know which way you're going to go. You're kind of playing in the middle and you're kind of hoping in this area, okay? Jolene says, so corny. I know. I'm a dad. What do you expect? And I'm going to play it too. I'm going to play it. Oh man, I love it. Let's see what else we got here. My son holds Roblox since it IPO'd. Hell yeah. Dan Bob says trend is your friend. LICN, J Blue. Goodness gracious, guys. We have so many stocks to go over. ZVIA. Let's take a look. ZVIA, this thing's looking really good. Look at this beautiful trend to the north side. And if we zoom out here, you can see it's right in this area of resistance. So that's definitely an area to be weary of. Definitely be careful of this area. Let me go ahead and draw this out for you just so you can see it. But if we take this area of resistance, it's going to be this area right here. And we just made it up into that area. It looks like it's holding out well for right now, but this might be a concerning area because it needs to get above it. It needs to get above it, pull back, and retest. What I do like is look at this volume coming in here. This volume came in after they had a surprise beat on its earnings. So that's a good sign. Now, if we look at the overall earnings on this thing, I'm assuming that, and it looks like they're starting to slowly climb and do better. And look at the quarterly over quarterly. They're getting a nice net revenue. So that's why, right here, guys, you can see that ZVIA, it is a beverage company, a beverage non-alcoholic consumer durables. It's creating new higher lows. It looks like it actually has some good fundamentals that are backing this thing up. It's looking great. The only thing I don't like is we do have an area of resistance that we have to deal with. Maybe this will actually form its base and we'll have a nice base breakout somewhere in this $5 area. But I think I need to give it more time to kind of see where this thing lines up, because you can't just buy it right here. You need to wait for a trend or a base breakout and the overall market to help support that confluency. Okay. B. Stewie says, smash that like button. Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. So let's look at JBlue, JBLU. So JetBlue, if you guys aren't aware, the airliners started to get some faith in them. But JetBlue is not looking nearly as well. Help me out in the chat, guys. I'll have to scroll back up here. Help me out in the chat. What's the airliner that's doing the best? Is it, I think it starts with an A. Help me out. I can't think of it, guys. Shoot. Is it American Airlines? AAL. Yes, that's it. American Airlines. Okay. So American Airlines is the leader in this, in my opinion. Correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Now, I don't really care for this trend right here, but when you look at American Airlines, you can see it finally broke out of this area, and I think it was due to some news. And I'm not familiar with the news, but this looks really good. I really like American Airlines. So if you're going to look at JetBlue, I would focus on AAL because this looks like it's leading the line, the travel space right now. So look at AAL rather than JetBlue, in my opinion, for the leaders. And if you want to know the ETF, it's JETS, JETS. And if you look at JETS, it's looking beautiful. It's getting above this stage 1. It's entered a stage 2. And you can see right now, it's also forming that same base. And so if we look at American Airlines, AAL, if we look at AAL, it looks a lot like its ETF. Okay, so I'm imagining that JETS, the ETF, holds a lot of the American Airlines in it. Okay. All right, let me scroll back up here, make sure. I told you guys I was going to hit every single one, so we're going to see. Jolene says, stick to stocks. Let's see. My son holds Roblox. Difference between buying overvalued and undervalued. What about stock Bayer? I got you, Nathan. We went over that. Let's see. Norman Conklin says, thank you, David. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you, Norman. I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you being here. Let's see. You guys are cracking me up in the chat. Let's see. Nathan, did you buy? Oh, okay. Let's see. Yeah, I didn't know you could do that either, but I like it. Noah says, told you he was legit. Thank you so much, Noah. Dude, I can't thank you enough for your support. Dirk Gake. I don't know if I'm saying that right. I'm gonna call you Dirk. I hope that's okay. SRM, let's take a little look. So the first thing I see with SRM, it's below a 200-day moving average, and it looks like it's getting ready to break its base. That's not a good sign. So I really don't like SRM, and I'm just gonna carry on from that because it's below a 200-day moving average. It's almost hit a new all-time low. It's creating new higher lows, and you can clearly see that this trend on the daily time frame is not a good thing. Trend is your friend here, and right now it looks like it's getting ready to break down. But I know that you just posted GEVO, which is a beautiful comeback because this thing is creating new higher lows. But GEVO, the only issue I have is we're getting this pop, we're creating new higher lows. If we create a new lower high, I could see this thing eventually creating a, why do I keep doing that? I could see this thing definitely creating a nice long trend here. Best case scenario, we do something like this and get tight before we break out higher, okay? So I like GEVO. It looks good. We're going to see if it wants to hold up. And before we carry on, guys, we almost made it to the bottom, I think. Yeah, we're almost there. But do me a favor, guys. Take a look at my screen. Do me a huge favor. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. I'm going to refresh this page really quick. We are up to 32 likes. We got 33 watching. So which one of you out there has not hit that like button? And of course, we've had 48 votes. 58% say all of the above. Thank you guys so much for voting on that poll. Very, very happy with those numbers. And we're going to keep on keeping on. But I do got to say, we just hit a new subscriber milestone. So thank you so much for everyone who has subscribed today. I do appreciate you and all the watch time that is being added. So yeah, B. Stewie, thank you for putting that out there. Erica K, I appreciate that. Let's see, global defense. If it starts to form the handle should not go lower than 50% retracement. The 50% retracement, I don't know exactly which stock you're talking about, global defense. But the retracement on the cup and handle, if I remember correct, it needs to be much less than 50%. Let me see if I can find it in the book. I think I have it. Yeah, right here. So we need at least a 30% move higher. I don't know about the retracement though, but if you're getting a 33% retracement, it needs to be within 12 to 33%. If you're getting retracement on the handle 50%, I'm not so sure where you're getting that information, but I would like to learn more. Maybe you're talking about something that I'm not aware of, but when it comes to the William O'Neill cup and handle, I'm not so sure that that is indubitably correct, sir. But we can look into that. And I see you guys all answering me now about AAL and UAL and Delta. Thank you guys so much for bringing those up. It's been a while since I looked at these. Delta does look good. Is Delta the leader? Delta might be the leader here rather than AAL. Yeah, so thanks for bringing up Delta, Dan Bob. I appreciate that. And also UAL. Let's take a look. UAL is doing well. Yeah, United Airlines. So AAL, UAL, DELT, Delta, DELT. Yeah, it's... no, this is Delta Electronics. Excuse me, guys. I don't know Delta's... let's see. DAL. Okay, it is DAL. Okay, we're good. DAL is probably looking the best, though. So yeah, DAL, UAL, and AAL is the airliners. And I appreciate Logan also for saying American Airlines. You guys are on top of it, man. I appreciate each and every one of you. I should have scrolled down, but I did. It came to my head. Sometimes it's a little hard when you're doing things live, but it finally came to me. But yeah, UAL United looks like a flag. So let's take a look at UAL. And I mean, you could consider this a flag here, like this, but this right here breaks its flag. So it's broken its trend. I like it. I like it. It's at all-time highs. The issue is I can't play this now. I got to wait for it to either retest this area, form a new base or trend breakout. But yes, United Airlines, Delta, all of those stocks are looking really, really good. Ash says GETY. Let's take a look. GETY is not looking good, brother. We got to look at this on the daily time frame, and you can see it's definitely on a huge downtrend. It's just recently hit new all-time lows. We're not looking at stocks that do that. So trend is your friend. This thing is trending lower. It's definitely not a stock that I want to be a part of anytime soon. If we wanted to be a part of this, it needs to break out of this trend down, and we need to start making new higher lows rather than new lower highs, okay? Watching on 2 devices, Erica, thank you so much. All that watch time helps, guys. We are so close for me actually getting paid for my ad revenue. And if I can get ad revenue and I can start just working from home, doing YouTube, focusing on you and protecting you and your accounts, looking for those trend and base breakouts and making that money from home, that's what I would like to do. But right now I'm supplementing my income by going out, working, and I'm not ashamed to do so because it is a great way to help support me, my family, and then I don't have to stress or not working off my, I day traded, I've swing traded, and I lived off my account for over 2 years. I didn't care for it. The more I'm in front of the market, the more I spend, the less discipline or the more trades I take, and the more money, the less money I make. Okay, so if I can focus solely on my YouTube and then trade, I make a lot more money that way. So as long as I am supplementing my income in some way, I will be happy to focus on that. So thank you so much, Erica, for watching on 2 channels, because my dream, my absolute dream, is to have a morning show on here where each and every day we show up and we kick ass, we take names, we do live trading, live commentary, live analysis for you, just like we're doing tonight. AIMD, let's take a peeky gander. Yeah, this is another huge downtrend. We are getting a nice pop here. I like the pop, but the issue is the drop. So every time we get a pop for AIMD, we get a drop and it's below $1. So it's not something I'm too interested in. Guys, be careful with these penny stocks, okay? You need to be careful. Let's see. CNSP and BHAT. Let's take a look. So both of those stocks below 200-day moving average that are heading lower. So I don't really care for these stocks, guys. I want to see uptrends. I want to see things that are trending up that are looking beautiful. If they trend up and they get a big boost and then they pull back and then they'll form a trend or a base breakout. But these stocks here, they're really cheap, and they're really cheap for a reason. They're not on sale. Let's see. Global defenses, I meant it must go lower than 50%. Okay. The handle usually retraces 10 to 15% of the cup's height, sometimes 30%. Yeah. So if it retraces 30% of the top of the cup, it would be at the base of the cup, which would be like almost 100% sell-off. So we got to be careful with that. We can go over the cup and handle, the William O'Neill cup and handle very specifically, but global defense, I would like to see your take on that. Maybe we can get like a little something there in our Discord. If you want to go over it with me, I would like to, so we can get you straight or me straight on that. Either way, I'm more than willing to go over that. Let's see what else we got. Nathan says, you got my watching for now. I work and trade. Yes, sir. Work and trade. And it's the best way to do it, because if you're only focused on your trading account and making money off your trading account, there's a big issue with that, guys. If you only do that, if you only focus on your trading account, then you're so nervous to lose money because you need money to pay your bills, right? Now, I have my house paid off. I don't have credit cards. I don't have car payments. You know, I'm very financially sound, where I have very minimal bills. But even with that, guys, even with that, I still want to supplement myself. So I know I don't have to take, you know, $1,000 out this month to pay my bills. No, I just lost $1,000 in the market. Now what do I do? Now I have to make money. Oh, and then I got to take this trade. You know, it creates this really psychological mess in your mind. So it's good to supplement your income regardless, whether it's through YouTube or, you know, selling your own product or going out and shoveling snow. Either way, as long as you're supplementing your income, it's a lot less stress on you. D-Rock, what? You're watching on 2 devices as well. Thank you so much. You guys are absolutely killing it. You're warming my heart, so thank you so much. Let's see. Dan Bob, thank you, D. Yes, sir. And guys, listen, I appreciate each and every one of you. This is going to be my last one. I look at LICN. This is not what I want to look at. I love you, Dirk. I love you, buddy. But this is not a stock I want to look at. Just because we're not creating new higher lows. This is a new lower low, and it's selling off on higher volume. So something really bad happened with this stock, and it's China. It's a China stock. China is like biotech. It has inherent risk, and there's issues with that. So, you know. But guys, I got to say good night. Thank you so much. And if you have made at all, like even one time, if you have commented in here, what I like to do is usher you out. I give you a quick shout out right at the end. So if you have, stick around and I will give you that one last shout out. I will say my goodbyes, my good nights. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome night and an awesome trading week. Monday starts a new week, so it could be a new you. Make sure you follow your rules, follow that risk management. We just ended the poll. It looks like 56% like the show because that's all of the above. 56% say all of the above. They like the stocks. They like the market update. They like the upcoming earnings. Endless possibilities. Thank you, Dave. Thank you for joining, and I hope I earned your subscription. You guys have an awesome night and stick around so I can give you your shout outs. Peace. Nothing but love, guys. What a great show. All right, guys. Rip, Tater Chip. Zamora, good night. Thank you so much for being here. Jolene, sweet Jolene, thank you so much. B. Stewie, my day one, baby. My day one. Thank you so much for being here. Pawn's in here. What's up, Pawn? Get to bed, he says. What's going on, Pawn? I'm glad you made it, brother. Thank you so much for showing up. Noah Sosa. Hey, huge shout out to Noah Sosa. Thank you so much. Jimmy Bright, where were you at, bro? Jimmy Bright, what's up, dude? I hope you have a good night, Jimmy. Thank you so much for stopping in. Yeah, great show, man. I mean, it was a huge turnout tonight, and that's where I was going with Noah Sosa. Noah, appreciate you inviting all your friends and all your family in here. Thank you for all your support, and thank you for constantly hyping me up, man. You're my hype man, bro. I appreciate you. Yosef, thank you so much. I hope you have a good night, brother. Endless Possibilities. Yeah, I agree, Jolene. That is a really cool name. Analyst Godoy, thank you so much. I hope you have a good night. Let's see what else. Who else we got here? Global Defense, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you stopping in and all the chat. Dirk, I appreciate you asking all the questions. D-Rock, thank you so much for watching on 2 devices, man. That's a huge thing for me, man. Nathan Sheffield, thank you for your donation today, brother. That was absolutely awesome. Obviously, we don't ask for it, but always appreciated when you do. Let's see. Erica K, watching on 2 devices. You guys are absolutely making my night. Ash, thank you so much for stopping in. How hard can it be? I don't know. How hard can it be? Thank you so much for stopping in, brother. I appreciate you. Logan, thank you for shouting out that American Airlines when I was stumped. I couldn't figure it out. Dan, Bob Dan, the greatest moderator alive. As always, thank you so much for being here. Let's see who else we got. I don't want to miss nobody. Don't want to miss nobody. JP, of course. JP, thank you so much for being here. Norman Conklin coming through today with a $20 super chat. Thank you so much for that. It was my first one. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. I know it's corny. I know it's dumb, but I hope I got you a few laughs. That was a good time. Dan Bob's probably going to, he's going to fire me. And that's all I got. That's all I got. I can't scroll up any higher, guys. Oh, I know I'm going to miss out on a few, but thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for being with me tonight, and I hope you guys have an awesome, awesome night. We'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.